justice, temperance, wisdom, courage. Applying ancient philosophy to modern times, this is the Sunday Stoic.
This is the 21st episode of the Sunday Stoic, and today we'll talk about racism. This is always a difficult topic for people to talk about, but if you're from the United States, you'll know why this is a timely episode. But there's been a lot of things in the news here. If you're not from the U.S., there has been, at this point, at least one death and lots of rioting as states are pulling down monuments to Confederate soldiers from the U.S. Civil War, and some people want the statues to stay, and others want them to go, and that's not what I'm going to talk about in this episode, but on the core problem here, which is racism. And you may have been raised in a culture and by a family that either blatantly or sort of under the surface displayed racism, and the important thing here is we know that it's wrong, but we have to, even if you're uncertain, you don't think you display these tendencies, it's important to reflect on your life to really think about whether or not you display these tendencies. And I don't care what skin color you are, we all can be susceptible to treating people differently, whether it be skin color or some form of disability or whatever it may be. We may not treat people the way that they should be treated, and justice is one of those cardinal virtues we're trying to practice. So let's hear what the Stoics have to say about this topic. Of Leisure by Seneca, Chapter 4. Let us grasp the fact that there are two republics, one vast and truly public, which contains alike gods and men, in which we do not take account of this or that nook of the land, but make the boundaries of our state reach as far as the rays of the sun, and another to which we have been assigned by the accident of birth. The Golden Sayings of Epictetus, Book 1, Chapter 15. If what philosophers say of the kinship in God and man be true, what remains for men to do but do as Socrates did? Never, when asked one's country, to answer, I am an Athenian or a Corinthian, but instead answer, I am a citizen of the world. The Thoughts of Marcus Aurelius, Book 5. In the morning, when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to do the work of a human being. Why then am I dissatisfied if I am going to do the things for which I exist and for which I was brought into the world? Or have I been made for this, to lie in the bedclothes and to keep myself warm? But this is the more pleasant. Dost thou exist then to take thy pleasure, and not at all for action or exertion? Dost thou not see the little plants, the little birds, the ants, the spiders, and the bees working together to put in order their several parts of the universe? And art thou unwilling to do the work of a human being, and dost thou not make haste to do that which is according to thy nature?
Like the show? Help support the Sunday Stoic by rating us on iTunes. Volunteer to read, suggest content, or send comments to sundaystoic@gmail.com. And podcasting is expensive. To help support the show, you can use our email to donate through PayPal, sundaystoic@gmail.com. Thanks, and carpe diem.
So I'm not going to have a long diatribe here, but we hear first from Seneca reminding us that we are dichotomous when it comes to our citizenship. We can think of ourselves as, in my case, an American, or I could think of myself as someone from the state of Ohio, or now I live in Arkansas, or however I could think of myself as a white person or as someone with Czech and German heritage, or whatever it is. The accident of our birth could be how we view ourselves. I happen to be born here or there, and therefore I'm steeped in this particular culture, and that's how I view myself. Now, the more Stoic way is the first way he describes. We are citizens bounded by the rays of the sun. We are all citizens of the same world. The rays of the sun limit the boundaries of our nation, and that unites everyone under the same citizenship. The Stoics were one of the first groups to practice this idea of cosmopolitanism, a city of the world, or a city of the cosmos, in which we all live. And then we hear from Epictetus, who says, when someone asks you where you're from, you don't say, "Oh, I'm from this town or that town," or "I'm from America," or "I'm from Germany," or "I'm from Norway," or "I'm from Ethiopia," or whatever it may be. You say, "I am a citizen of the world," and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to remember that we are part of the world. We are not separate entities within the world, and that's kind of difficult to do. The Stoics practice a meditation technique called a view from above, which I don't think I've talked about in the past, but it's where you start by picturing yourself where you are, and then imagine yourself flying up above into space very slowly, and you see the people around you, and then you zoom out a little more and you see those people, and you realize they're all going through the same things you're going through, and you're really not that far apart. And we know from evolutionary biology we're all very closely related as well. And then the last reading by Marcus Aurelius, not about our view of other people or races per se, but a call to action. He says, don't stay in your comfort zone. Don't stay in bed just because it's warm and comfy. It's human nature. If you're going to live according to nature, it's within your nature to get your butt out of bed and get to work. So we know as Stoics that part of what we do is we accept things the way they are, and we figure out what we can change and what we can't. We can't always change someone else's behavior or attitude, but we know it's our obligation to first try not to be internally offended by what other people do. Don't let it hurt you, but realize it's their shortcomings, their lack of virtue that's causing them to act that way. It's our job to try to educate them and to bring them out of their ignorance. And we can't do that by staying under the covers, staying warm, and ignoring the problem. We have to get up there and do the job of a human being, which is to talk about things, to act, and remember, Stoic philosophy puts a high value on action, not just talking about things. So take this to heart, figure out where you are, start with you, and then work outwards. All right, everybody. Maybe we'll do a show about something less of a downer, but it's not a downer to be a citizen of the world. So stay stoic and carpe diem.
My time is my time, and my mind is my mind. Wisdom, justice, temperance, and courage I'm trying to find. There are few things in this world that I can control.